All right, this is a calculator tutorial for a t interval for a slope. Just kind of a word with this is that if you have Minitab output, you would never need to use this. Okay, the Minitab would give you everything you need in terms of like constructing the interval. Okay, you can certainly go and get it yourself, because really all you need is the value for b and then your standard error for the slope, and those two numbers are right next to each other in Minitab. All you'd have to do to go get it, the actual interview, is to go get a critical value from table B, and you could just do the number crunching yourself. But to verify that it's correct, there is an option here. I have data from one of the examples in our notes, which was on the explanatory variable was hours, and then the response was, or excuse me, the explanatory variable was the amount of sugar. The response was hours in terms of how long the flowers stayed fresh. Okay, so list 1 has your explanatory. Those are all in, I think, tablespoons of sugar. So for this first point, no sugar was added, and the flowers stayed fresh for 168 hours. Okay, should be 12 pieces of data total. There's 7. And all in all, you should have 12. So there's the bottom 5. If you needed to go back a little bit and pause it to get all the data in, take a minute to do that. Okay, data's in. Stat test. The 2 t-tests for slopes are way down at the bottom. We're going linear regression t-interval. X is in list 1, Y is in list 2. The confidence level with this one was 99%. And then we go hit calculator, and there it is. Okay. Really, the only 2 things for a do step that we would want is that first line, well, technically the third line, but the first line that has any info that's new would be right here. The interval itself, we would want that. And then degrees of freedom is sample size minus 2. So that would go in your do step as well, but those are really the only numbers. There's B. We'd show B when you're writing out the work, because that would be plus or minus your critical value times your standard error. Okay. So you'd still have a trip to Minitab. You'd still have a trip to table B to get the work to show your interval. But you could certainly kind of verify that the interval is correct. Or if it wasn't like a full 4-step and you just had to get the interval and it didn't give you Minitab and you just had the data, you could do that too. And you could make it work with the calculator feature. The big thing that you have to do if you're going to go the calculator route is you have to enter the data. And at the very least, that's probably 10 pieces of data to put in. If you really know what you're doing with Minitab, you don't have to do it. Right there, you can literally just read the information you need from the output and not have to use the calculator. In your homework assignments, kind of feel it out and see what fits, what's kind of the best fit for each problem.